What is up, folks? Welcome back. To another live stream repair. We've got a few more that have showed up since yesterday, so let's get those added up to the screen here. Of course, we're going to start off with Erica, their first gen HomePod with no power. So let's shoot them a message first. And after that, we're going to look at Patrick, number 3511. They've also got no power. Let's see if we can find them. Here they are. Pull out the glorified text messaging machine. Let them know real quick. Cool. And who else do we have? We've got 3553 with two HomePods, one that's a brick and one that they just want maintenance on. And then we've got number 3518 that had a logic board issue. We tried the software restore and it didn't take it, so we got a logic board ready for them. And then got a few more here. We got David. They are back with another HomePod. It actually works just fine. They just want preventative maintenance. They were happy with how we did their other pod, and they wanted to prevent the same issues on their other ones. So there you go. We've also got Doug with no power. 3561 with no power. 3531, that's Roberto. You guessed it, no power. And 3572. Yes, no power. We'll break that up into two lines. Beautiful. And I think enough jibber jabbering, let's get to some fixing here, yeah? So, Erica with no power. The most common issue we work on here. No lights, no power, no nothing, a couple of watts from the wall. That tells me we've got most likely the usual dead diode in there. Let's get it apart. We'll get that replaced with a bigger, better diode that won't fail again on them. While we're in there, we'll do a little bit of maintenance. Replace those DC filters that like to go bad and cause death farts. Replace the subwoofer gasket with a solid rubber one, since the old foam stuff can fall apart over time. And I doubt it, but if anything else smells or stinks in there, we'll take a look. Excuse me. Alright. Who's in the chat with us already today? We've got Stefan. We've got Mike. Mike and his poor HomePods. I am so sorry, man. I will make it worth your wait, I promise. We've got Shuffle Hands. Welcome back, folks. HomePod Mini, no connection to PC. That's one way to say hello. Well, hello right back at you. Is it lighting up at all? Like when you plug it into a power adapter, does it do anything? We don't work much on the minis here. We take a peek at them once in a while. But it seems everyone else has most of their issues sorted out by now. No power tends to be a shorted capacitor somewhere. You can use traditional methods to find it. But no connection to a PC, I'm not sure what that could mean or what your problem might be. If you're simply just asking why didn't Apple allow us to plug them into our PC and use them as a speaker that way, I couldn't tell you. We can speculate all day, you know. Apple didn't want you to be able to do it because they want you to use their subscription services. They simply may not have just wanted to build out the support for it. But in any case, your best bet's going to be to use third-party software like Airfoil or TuneBlade or AirParrot and AirPlaying to it wirelessly from your computer. But as far as I'm aware, neither on Mac or PC can you just plug your Mac Mini into it and use it as a USB speaker. Everything smells okay so far. My glue did not want to let up. Further we go. You know what still works surprisingly well to this day? Running Snow Leopard on an eMac and running Airfoil on that. No issues. You might be wondering what the heck? I have an eMac as a hallway computer. I just think they look neat. But it's a nice little functional museum piece. So here we are at the amplifier. We're going to knock out a little bit of maintenance first. Our 4 filtering capacitors, they love to go bad and cause death farts and all sorts of bass issues due to age, or be it just being a low quality component. We like to stay ahead of issues that are most commonly showing up here for repair, and it's these filters or that diode for no power. So we'll get these replaced before they need to be, and then we'll fix the power issue, close it back up, and basically repeat the process a bunch more times today. Welcome, Highway Rider. I have no idea what IC you're talking about, but part numbers for everything that we do know of, you can find it all on my website under the Known Issues section. If it's not there, then I probably don't know the part number. But you can also always join my Discord, discord.gg/nixfix. I've got a link to the Discord server on the top of my website as well. You can't type. And you can ask in my Discord server. Just tell us what you're looking for, and we'll see if we can't figure out what it is. But unfortunately, I can't help if you just ask what IC, where do I get this IC? I don't unfortunately know what IC you're talking about. All right. So we've got some new fart filters on there. Let's flip it around and fix that dead diode causing no power. A 46K date code, of course. Kurt, welcome back. I think the magnet has come loose in it or something, because it's supposed to cool off and turn off when I put it in the base, and it uses a magnet to know when I've done that. What can you expect for a $60 hot air station? I'll replace it one day. What tools do you need for the HomePod Mini? I would strongly suggest, I don't know off the top of my head, but there's plenty of resources out there if you search online what tools you would need to get to that. I know you're going to need like a T6 and a T5. You might need a T10 as well, but like I said, I don't remember off the top of my head. You're better off just looking it up. David, welcome. That's a good reason, or good question right there. They asked, is there any reason I specialize in HomePods? Is it because there's so much business for them that there's no need to work on other things, or do I simply enjoy the routine of the same device? It's a little bit of both of that, and a lot of it just chance that we kind of fell into this. It started also as a lot of how much I love the speaker itself and what kind of listening experience that it can bring that I enjoy so much. It's very satisfying to bring that same back for other people too. And I've always wanted to have like an electronics repair business or something along those lines. But I was never really sure how to get into it and what I should work on. So I didn't really want to get into the same phones and laptops and basically stuff that everyone was already out there fixing. I didn't want to, spend any energy having to compete. I didn't want to, I wanted to just simply focus on providing the service and fixing the stuff. And HomePods just aligned with that so perfectly. It basically, the whole opportunity fell right into my lap. When I first had a few and I wanted more, typically what I've always done when I want something, to me, broken just means at a discount. I love to buy anything broken and fix it, be it a car or a computer or some other piece of tech or anything. I'll probably end up doing the same when I buy a home. If I can buy a home. But once I started getting the hang of working on HomePods, and I started noticing common issues and things that people thought couldn't be fixed. No one was out there offering repairs for them, so it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. And then, as we got more popular and busier, it did quickly become, one of the reasons being there's no need to work on other stuff. When I first started, I didn't really want to have a bunch of work. I just wanted to kind of have it be like a side hobby to kind of expand my skill set and maybe have a little extra cash to make life a little easier. But we grew, we kept growing, more kept showing up. And I don't charge enough and I don't get enough to quit my job and do it full time. That'd be nice, but definitely don't really have the time unless I were to quit my job and charge more for repairs if I were to start taking on a lot of other stuff. We always get people here and there reaching out with some other device, and if it seems like something that I can repair without a reasonable amount of risk, then it's something that I love to take on for something a little different here. We've got an Apple Watch Series 5 ceramic white edition with a cracked screen that we're going to be working on in the next day or so. We got an iPad Air with a dead battery. That won't be too exciting, and I don't want to have a whole bunch of iPads that need batteries showing up in my mail, but I'm always happy to do one here and there.
I'm having trouble Of
course, the volume button isn't lighting up evenly, but that's easy to fix. I'll fix it later. We got it turning on for now. That's all we need. I swear I'm gonna throw this heat gun in the trash. Alright, we've got Patrick now. Patrick's got no power. After that, it's gonna be a couple... I got something in my eye. Ah. Man, I am 2 seconds from having eyelashes surgically installed to my face. Let me tell you, anything and everything in the air gets sucked right into my eyeballs because I'm not just bald on the head, I got no hair. I don't have no eyelashes, I don't got no eyebrows, I got nothing. But I got it out. I can see again. I can fix. We got no lights, no power, a couple of watts from the wall. After Patrick here is going to be, who's next? 3553. So we'll let them know they are next here. Okay, here we go. Nah, if I was bald by choice, I wouldn't be bald. I would have a wicked ponytail. Heck, I'd probably grow my beard out and have a HomePod Mini inside of it. See you later, Kurt. Thanks for dropping by. Magnetic eyelash extensions. Yeah, my wife said the same thing. I don't want to deal with, because I touch my face more than I should, so I'd inevitably ruin them. Rip them off my face all the time. But on the flip side, you know, they're gonna be what's catching all the crap in the air. It would be nice to just pop them off my face, clean them off, and pop them right back on. Good to go. Alright, let's see what we got here. Of course, first we're going to knock out these filters that go bad and cause all sorts of bass issues. Dang, you got your hands on a 2nd gen with the internal boot? Wish we could figure out the USB access and subsequently a way to restore the software on those ones. Far less chances of that being figured out anytime soon than we ever had on the 1st gen. We had a big break on the 1st gen because of Checkmate, the hardware vulnerability that they have. But the 2nd gen HomePod has no such. Nothing's impossible, but that would not be a trivial task to figure out. All right. There's our dead diode. Fantastic. Denman, welcome, welcome. That clear stuff is flux. It's really important for proper soldering. Without flux, you're not going to get good solder. Helps remove the corrosion or the oxidation that practically immediately builds on any exposed solder or copper joint, which will inhibit your ability to do a proper alloy bond, and you'll end up instead with a cold solder joint that just mechanically breaks apart over time. Does it just evaporate? Oh, that's a good question. I didn't think of where it goes. It kind of does just disappear off the board. I mean, there's obviously it does leave a fair bit of residue behind. Granted, it's no clean stuff. It's not going to hurt anything. But yeah, now you got me curious. I have to look that up myself. Is what's disappearing evaporating? I would believe so. So up next, we've got 3553 with 2 HomePods. One of them has blinking volume buttons. Or not blinking volume buttons. I believe one of them is death farts. Yep, that's this one. Quite poppy. And this one should work just fine.
I'm having trouble.
Very nice. This one should work just fine. They just want maintenance done to it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna fix them both, yeah? It'll basically be the same. Oh, there we go. Okay, I was mistaken. One of them needs maintenance, although those filters sound like they're close to on their way out. This one appears to be boot looping and blinking those volume buttons briefly in the process. Let's take a look at this one first. That one's got me the most curious. So this could be caused by a few different things. It could be a hardware issue, could be physical damage, it could be a software issue. We won't know until we at least try a few things here. What we're going to do first is attempt a USB software restore. Someone's already been in here. Doesn't look like anybody's tried connecting an adapter. Maybe they did. I'd have to look at my notes. But in any case, we always want to try for ourselves and see what the results are. So I've got my handy dandy 3D printable HomePod adapter so we can plug this into our computer and give it a shot. And I'm dropping stuff everywhere. Here we go. Okay. And we'll grab our laptop here. We will plug our USB cable in. And that sounded crunchy. And here we go. Let's give it a gastropone. Oh. And we just don't even have USB into it. It is, well, there you go. Okay. So it doesn't even have USB access. It's not showing up on our computer whatsoever. What does that tell me? That tells me we've definitely got a hardware issue. Probably on the logic board. I'm gonna wager a bet that this thing was dropped on its head and we've got some sort of physical damage here hiding. But if not, if I don't find any physical damage, then that would lead me to believe that there is some kind of hardware damage on the logic board. Probably the main CPU itself needs to be resoldered. But that's not something that we generally do here. We just replace the logic board outright. One day we will get to trying to reball those CPUs. I've got a few boards like that waiting for the day, but we're not quite ready for that yet. Oh boy. Can I pay someone to do that for me? I can't pay you much. Oh yeah, let's see. Nothing obvious here. And I don't see any... Oh, I do. It does look slightly dented in. Let's go ahead and try another display here. Ha ha! Oh, damn. All right. So, unfortunate. That means that it is the logic board. I don't really like that. I'm not sure. I don't think I have another space gray logic board at the moment. Someone else is waiting for one already. go ahead and just take this out really quick. I mean, it's not the first logic board I've had that behaves like this. Seems like it might have gotten banged up just enough. Not fun. Okay. We're gonna have to put this one to the side for now, and I'll let them know what's up with it. I'll need an extra day or two to get my hands on a logic board for them, but we can at least get their other one fixed up here. Now this one, I believe it just needed maintenance, but it does pop kind of loudly. So I'm going to take a close look at that subwoofer, make sure it's not stinkified. Okay, let's text the next person. Let them know they're coming up here in a few minutes. Alright. Let's get this one all maintained and ready to go. And then we'll move on to the next one. This one's got a little crack. I wouldn't even call that. Oh yeah, no, it's got a few cracks on it. Man, with how beat up this top is, I would have expected this one to be the one that had been blinking volume buttons like that due to a hardware issue. But this one seems to be the one that works just fine. Aside from a bit of popping that might be louder than usual. But we'll take care of all of that and make sure it doesn't have anything we can prevent for the foreseeable future. Looks like I'm all out of rubbing alcohol, so we're doing them all, we're doing the rest of them dry here. Nah, that's not possible, man. That's insane. Why is my phone not unlocking? Unlock. Goodness. I hate Face ID so much. Oh, that's not gonna open up without alcohol. I'm gonna have to find some. Oh, buddy. I found some. It's not 99%, but I don't need 99% for opening these. Making a mess. Just making a mess. Ooh, it smells good at least. All right. No, it's not drinkable. You don't want to drink it. You do not want to drink that. Oh, way better. Yeah, that'll work. Night and day difference. How's our woofer? Fantastic. Dang, someone was not having a good day putting this one together. Those are tight. we get there when we get there, Stefan. Alright, these are the filters that love to go bad and cause loud popping, bad bass, death farts, what have you. They'll roast your bass speaker and other bits of the amplifier. So we like to replace those before they do that. Finesse. Let's see, do we need a new diode? No, we don't. That is a 36K date code on that one. Nothing else stinky in here, so we'll get this back together with a new subwoofer gasket. Whatever that was. Get that out of there. Marvin, that's literally the first time you've talked in here, and within, what, 2 minutes, you're like, is he ignoring the chat today? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna ignore the chat today. How about that? You want to know what ignoring the chat's like? I'll show you what ignoring the chat's like. What? Who's mad? I'm not mad. Stephanie would make me mad. No one made me mad. I'm not mad. I was just messing with you. I just thought it was funny that you joined and like within it did feel like within 2 minutes of you posting your first chat, you were like, Nick's ignoring the chat. Stefan and I have been talking like almost this whole time before you joined. Okay, the next one. Looks like David's coming up next, so we'll let him know that they are. Very good.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Hey, that even sounds a lot better.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Alright, alright. Let's keep it rolling here. So, we've got 3518 here. Let me try to recall, did we already do the maintenance on this one? No, we didn't. Okay. So this one's going to be a full-on brick. We already tried the software restore and it was throwing NAND errors. So it's going to need a new logic board. Let's actually get ourselves one of those now. Oh, man, and I just got this one too. But, gotta do what you gotta do. Oh yeah, the Fritz box. I got the op amps in. I replaced the op amps, and unfortunately no change. No difference. I started measuring every single component with it powered on and off, and I cannot find... Like, I've got voltage readings everywhere. I don't have any blown resistors from what I can find. No shorted caps. Everything's outputting the right voltages. From what I can tell, I would assume at this point it's the actual, I don't know, like the radio chip itself. You know what I mean? Broken antenna itself? I doubt it. I didn't actually think to try a different antenna. Oh, almost forgot those two. I mean, and especially with, you know, you look up all those blog posts and in the various stages of failure, it looked like it just made, like it was way too far into one of those, you know, it had gotten too far by the time we got into it. Oh, I don't need to take this one apart anymore. We have gotten what we came here for, and that is a good working logic board. So let's get that put into this HomePod along with a little bit of maintenance to keep it going as long as possible. Am I sending it back? Yeah, most likely. I have no reason to keep it. Unless they don't want it back, then I'll keep it in case someone else sends one in for parts, but they'll probably want it back. They might be able to find someone else, or they might try to replace the main chip themselves one day. Who knows? It's not like we gotta send it all the way back to Germany, at least. It does kind of suck that we... In hindsight, though, what I should have done before ordering that replacement op amp, let alone waited for it and then replaced it, I really should have checked the voltage reading, the voltage readings of that op amp chip on the board before replacing it, because I mean, the original was probably fine. When I've got the time, we'll come back to all these logic boards I've been saving with hardware issues, and we'll fix a few of them up. But for now, let's get this torn apart the rest of the way so we can get to the amplifier, which is where most of the HomePod's issues come from. And we'll do a little bit of maintenance to that, and then get it all back together with the working logic board. I think I can just rip that off by hand. Look at that. Good stuff. Subwoofer seems great. We'll replace the gasket on the way back together. Here we go. Ooh, we do need a new Schottky diode. We've got the Devil's Date code on there. That means that's going to fail and cause no power eventually. So we'll get that replaced along with these filters that love to cause death farts and bass issues. That should make this one happy, long-lasting HomePod. Get some flux down on the board so we can get some good solder connections. Very nice. Alright. And let's get that diode before it needs it. Germany HomePod meetup? Someday. It won't be soon. I can't afford international travel anytime soon. Alright, so this logic board should already be factory reset, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so 3518. All good to go.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
We've now got David here, the second HomePod they've sent in to us. This one doesn't have any issues in particular, but they do want to prevent any issues it might have. After David here, we're going to look at Doug. What tools should you get to start your repair business? Okay, the tools that I started with were just the basics. A hot air rework station, and basically a hot air rework station, a soldering iron, solder and flux, and an iFixit ProTech toolkit. That covers almost everything. And then from there, you can add more tools as you see fit. You can replace or upgrade things as you see fit. Obviously, if you're going to do like CPU reballing, then you're going to want to get your hands on stencils for those. But nothing wrong with a good quality basic set of tools to start with, and then adding and expanding and upgrading as you need. I mean, in the JCID tools, like the NAND reprogrammers and the True Tone unlockers and the serial programmers and that kind of stuff, a lot of the older iPhones you're going to need. A lot of the like somewhat recent, but not the newer generations, I believe they did away with all that with the self-service repair and the official parts. I'm not terribly up to speed on component lockdowns that Apple does on their current gen devices. I just hear the news and what people complain about usually. And what's nice with the tech toolkit is it comes with pretty much everything you need to take apart the majority of devices you would encounter. Oh, another thing that you would want to get, of course, you need to get your hands on a multimeter. It would behoove you to get one that can measure the capacitance as well as the other obligatory basic features like diode mode and resistance mode. But it's not easy to find a cheap multimeter with capacitance, so make sure you find one. It'll be handy to be able to pull parts off good boards to know what the values are for replacing the parts on bad boards. That one was already loose. Kind of weird. Get that old crappy foam stuff out of here. We replace it with rubber on the way back together. Alright, what do we need? New filters, of course. 46K dated Schottky diode, so we need one of those as well. Nothing else stinky or suspicious on there. So let's get that all done. Stefan, just wait till you get older. Just you wait. You think you need a break now, wait till you can't take a break. Taking a break means becoming homeless or becoming delinquent on a major bill or getting fired from your job or something. Enjoy being young while you can. Man, I remember being told that all the time when I was a kid. I'm not saying you're a kid, but you got a few years left to mess around. But that never really stuck with me until I got older, and then I was like, oh wow. But isn't that most things? Yeah, he might be a kiddo, but credit where it's due. I mean, when I was 16, I wasn't reballing iPhone CPUs, and I don't think as mature or not that you might think Stefan is. I think I was a little more mature at his age. But only just by a little. I also didn't have to do freaking school 7 days a week, so that would absolutely ruin me too. Yeah, like I'd rather make it up during the summer than have to do it 7 days a week. I did end up having to do summer school one year. I sucked so much at history class I had to do it over again. But the summer school teacher made it he made it as great as you could make summer school. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense, Marvin. Not everyone in America, not everywhere in America even has summer schools, as far as I know. Kind of depends on where you live. We're just a big country, so we got a lot going on in different places. You could fit the entire country of America just inside of Texas alone, man. Texas is huge. It's so big, you could fit 2 whole Texases inside of Texas. Is the plural for Texas Texases? Or is it just Texas? That'd be some expensive emergency solder, Stefan. What?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
All right. Here's the next one, 3558. That's going to be a Doug, of course, with no power. After that, it's going to be 3561. No lights, no power. Couple of watts from the wall here. That's all looking like the usual no power. We've got a nasty crack right here on the edge, so I'll start somewhere else and try not to make that any worse. Very nice. No music today. Sorry, Stefan. No, I wanna focus and get these knocked out so we can catch up here finally. The end is in sight. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, actually, I don't know if it's the light at the end of the tunnel that I'm seeing or if it's a train coming right at me, but we'll find out soon enough here. white fart filters first and then that dead diode. There it is, our 48K date or 46K dated diode, causing our power issues. Who's Patrick? Ever tried adding a Type-C port to a 3DS? Nah, I don't even have a 3DS. I used to have a 3DS. I used to have a 3DS XL when I used to work for Nintendo. It was the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past edition. It had the gold. It was gold, and it had the Triforce on the front, and I adored that thing. And then one day, one of my monitors fell off my desk and cracked the screen on it. But as a Nintendo employee, you have an incredible warranty where they'll just replace, or they'll repair free of charge any of your Nintendo products, just completely for free, even if it was totally your fault that you broke it. And So I sent it in to get it fixed, and they sent me a plain blue 3DS XL back, and I was devastated. I sold it, and I never played another Nintendo game. I didn't do anything exciting at Nintendo, no. I was just call support. Tier 1, Tier 2. Kinda. It wasn't boring. I loved that job. But they, unfortunately, overhired way too many support staff in anticipation for the Wii U making a bunch of sales for the holidays. If that gives you an idea around what time, what year I worked for Nintendo. It was around the Wii U launch during Christmas. And they hired a bunch of people expecting it to make a bunch of sales and get a bunch of support calls, and then they ended up not. So they literally trained to pay, or they paid to train like hundreds of support employees. Like 4 to 6 weeks of training. And then we had all of like maybe a day or two actually live on the phones. And they start laying everyone off. Insane. That's actually why I moved over to this side of the state, was for the job at Nintendo. Thankfully, I lived with a bunch of roommates, and we were all pretty much in a similar situation, but we all lived in a trailer, and the trailer park rent was like $250 a month, so that was, whatever, we can scrape that together and get by between the 4 of us. Didn't have problems finding other jobs between all of us. Gosh, that would have been over like 12 or 13 years ago by now. That's insane to think about. All right. Oof. Okay. No big deal, no big deal. We'll give it a good old software restore. I'm sure what happened was it lost its power in the middle of a software update, and it's not happy about that. I will make sure that this can restore and it's good to go. Failing that, it's it'll only cost an extra $10, but we'll have to replace their logic board as well. But I doubt it. I'm sure it just failed during a software update and it needs a good old USB restore here. So let's keep things moving for now. Let's try to touch every other HomePod today first. We've got 3561 here with no power, no lights, and oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one. The kilowatt meter does flinch. It does bump up a couple of watts before falling back down to basically nothing. So this is not going to be the usual no power repair. This is more likely going to be a short somewhere on our main logic board up top here. It's not going to be a blown fuse because that wouldn't make the kilowatt flinch at all. It'd be essentially like plugging in nothing. With a blown fuse, it's not letting any power flow through. Unlike shorted components, which will draw power even though the device may not look like it's doing anything. It could also be physical damage to this display up top here. That's pretty rare. Usually they show some kind of life. So we'll look at it for physical damage, but I don't expect to see any. That display looks fine and dandy. Our failure is going to be somewhere on this board. So let's get stuff exposed. I'm going to go ahead and poke a couple of common areas really quick. This room is a disaster. I'm gonna lose my mind. Alright, I'm just gonna check a couple common areas that we tend to see shorts. Nothing on this side. It's gonna be near the power management IC, I bet you. I don't actually see anything. It all checks out. I suppose we should sanity check with a known good display, just in case there's physical damage on there that we can't see. But if not, then we're gonna have to bust out the thermal camera. So here's a known good display. Everything else remains unchanged. Oh! Interesting. I have to... Do you see that? Did it do that with the other display? Did I just not see it doing that with the other display, or is the display broken and the logic board broken and we've got a whole cluster in here? No, it's doing the same thing with this display too. It's just really fast. You can barely see it. I bet you if I put a black top on here, it'll show up better. You can see maybe. It briefly shows up, but it's boot looping rather quickly. So it's not a display issue. We don't know still if that in particular could be a power supply problem. So let me grab a known good logic board, at least one that we know turns on and produces sound here. And let's see what this has to say for us. No. It is going to be a logic board problem entirely. Okay. I do not have more logic boards at the moment, so we're going to have to put this one to the side and come back to it in the next day or so. That's a little annoying, but that's okay. And yeah, no signs of physical damage. That sucks. Okay. Well, at least we know what we're going to need to get together for number 3561 here. We'll come back to it. For now, we got to keep things moving along here. So let's just get this put back on here. Interesting. It's not the first time I've seen it, but it's really rare. Let's move for now on to Roberto and then 3572. And if we can get through these two, then we can try to fix up a couple of logic boards and get some of these HomePods for folks that are waiting on these logic boards. So let's see what Roberto's doing here. No lights, no power, the usual power draw from the wall. So, that looks like the typical diode issue. Let's get it apart. Get it all fixed up. Try to clear this queue. At least a little bit. What are the chances macOS can read the SD card out of my Kindle? I don't know. I think it's going to be an NTFS or ext4 formatted, in which case macOS can't natively read those drives. You have to use third-party software. But if it's FAT or FAT32 formatted, you should be able to mount and read, write, format it, what have you. Did I booze this one up yet, folks? I don't think I did. Oh, really? Did my camera really just die? It's not even hot in here. Alright, let me turn my fan on and save the poor soul. Alright. I'm gonna turn this back off for now to let it cool down while we work on our board. Of course, we're gonna replace our fart filters first since they love to go bad for a few different reasons and cause bass issues. Like, could cool the camera. You're not the first person to bring that up. I think someone else has even done it. Alright, new filters. Landed a job yesterday. Hell yeah, Marvin, congrats. Yeah, that's good though. Contract or not, it'll be nice to have something on paper and get the experience. And yes, Crux is absolutely correct. There's no harm in taking up those interviews on the other ones. See what you got, shop around. Especially if you have the opportunity. It's not the other company's loss. They don't, they probably don't care or know better. But still, no harm in seeing what all is out there. And it's not like you don't have to accept the contract job. It's not like you have to wait to accept the contract job. You can go ahead and take it and see what the others still have to say in the meantime. What they have to offer. Okay, I'll let you. I'll give it to you. They're ripping their hair out, man. Without you, they're kicking themselves right now. They're considering closing shop. They made a mistake. You know what would be even better than the cancer cube, Stefan? Ending the stream and working on my car instead of cancer cube. But you all want me to suffer. You want me to solder a giant cube of capacitors together. Those drawstrings are very fiddly, yeah. Yeah. Lots of practice to make it look that easy, and it looks a lot easier than it really is. I am internally struggling with those drawstrings every time. Screaming internally, may I even say. Here we go. Goodness gracious, are we gonna clear this queue? I frickin' hope so. Stefan, shut up. You're 16. Shouldn't be talking like that. Have some respect.
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
Alright. Show me those volume buttons one more time, will ya? Thank you very much. Let's conclude this queue so we can fix a few other things here. Where's my mouse? We've got 3572 here. With no power. No power, no lights. 6 watts from the wall, pretty solid. That looks like the usual no power to me from a dead diode. Here we go. Haha, that sounds like an interesting project, Crux. I am very curious how that goes for you. Not a bad idea. Sorry, in Germany, church tax? There's a church, you get charged for a church tax in Germany? I am fairly ignorant on this matter. What are you talking about? That sounds insane to me. I mean, I'm familiar with, like, tithe and offering. But that's usually a pass the basket around during service and throw a couple bucks in there kind of thing, not an automated deduction from your paycheck. That's kind of scary. Is this like a government, like, I'm gonna have to look at how that works. Is this like a thing that, like, you only pay the tax if you attend church? Or, like, everybody has to? I don't feel like the booze is doing too good on this one. Oh, there we go. Ooh, not today. Oh, my kid has this it's just the craziest, most maniacal laugh. It's like this witch cackle, and it's just hilarious coming from a 2-year-old. That she just ah, and you just hear her from across the house. You know she's up to no good when she's doing it. Ah. Here we go, filters first, and then our dead diode. Ooh, I should get Big Stacked to that YouTuber that smelts all that metal with the giant collection of melted metal. If you haven't watched Big Stacked on YouTube, he's got great stuff. That'd be so cool to have just a solid metal HomePod, even if it was just a little guy hanging around my neck. That would be neat. There it is, our 48K dated dead diode. Let's get that replaced. No, I can't open Discord right now. It'll have to wait. Can't you see I'm busy? I can only get as much as I can get done because I ignore everyone until I get it done. In the time it takes me to check my Discord, do you know how many screws I could screw back together? Do you know how many filters I could replace? You're asking me to lose money. $85 for a yellow free hi-fi? That's pretty good, man. If you got the monies and you don't have one yet, snag it. Ooh, the 30-pin to Bluetooth adapters are handy to have. I've got one for mine. They're not super expensive, but it's a nice little extra to have. Including ship. Dude, you don't even have to go and meet someone for it? My only concern would be if they were able to adequately pack it to prevent any shipping damage. One hi-fi that I bought wasn't shipped very well and it showed up with a cracked speaker grill, but it still worked just fine. Yeah, that's a pretty good one right there, Marvin. I would say so. Well, I would assume now that Marvin's bought it, even though the seller has to accept the sale, that it took it off the market and someone else can't buy it now. And that also means that no one else had bought it, and the seller's waiting to confirm a different sale before Marvin. So it sounds like it's yours, unless something happens to the seller. Oh, buddy. All right. Of course. Well, at least the timing was all right. We are unfortunately all out for today. At least we got the queue cleared. I wanted to fix a couple logic boards. Cancer cube, but we are out of time.
I'm having trouble connecting to...
Of course, we've always got more showing up to get fixed. We've got a couple of things still waiting to get fixed. But we'll save it for tomorrow, folks.
I'm having trouble...
There we go. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I hope you all hold on. Hope to catch you all in the next one.